Something else I watched this weekend, Kenny Stubblefield. I watched my first UFC show this weekend, and my guy, Left Hand to God, which is dope, has to be the dopest name in the history of any sport. Danny Barlow, straight from Memphis, Tennessee, got a win, man. Totally outclassed this bum. He was in the ring with the octagon. With I learned some things about UFC because it was another fight I was watching, a pre-fight, and some guy kept trying to like lock his toes into the cage.
Yeah,
like grabbing the cage. You can't do that.
Nope.
You can touch the cage, but you can't use the cage to prevent you from getting.
You can push off, but you can't grab.
Yeah, but Danny Barlow, I'm trying to understand like the scoring of UFC, but they basically said that Danny won because he got more hits in. And he kind of had control of the fight.
Yeah, it's control. He had. They call it octagon control, right? Yeah. Like he had. There wasn't very many times. Anytime that the guy's name was Nikolay Verettinkov, anytime that he shot in to try to take Danny to the ground, Danny would switch him to the cage, get underhooks underneath his arms here, move him back. He could never get control. Danny had control of the fight the entire time. Yeah.
Left hand of God, bro.
They still gave him one judge. He ended up earning a split decision. One judge gave all 3 rounds to Verettinkov.
And by a piece.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because Danny definitely was. I'm not a UFC guy, really. I don't really understand what I'm watching half the time, but like, it definitely looked like Danny had control.
He won the first 2 rounds easily. I was judging it. I would give the 3rd round to Verettinkov because he pushed forward, trying to knock him out, but Danny was on his bike and wasn't getting hit. But man, it was one of those fights. Like, you talk to Danny, and we dropped a video on Friday with him.
Go check that John out too.
Yeah, it was fun, man. It was fun. Danny's a beast, man. Like it's crazy. Like I don't think people understand. Like Gabe Kuhn
is a big ass dude.
He's 6'5" easily. He says he weighs 305. That motherfucker's 320, bro. Like no doubt in my mind, he's a monster.
Yep.
Gabe, I apologize. Gabe's gonna be pissed off when he hears me say that. But he got on top of Danny, and Gabe's not just a big dude. Gabe played professional offensive lineman. He was in the New Orleans
Saints.
Saints. Thank you.
Yeah.
In their training camp. He spent time in the NFL, played Canadian Football League. He did all this stuff. And he had Danny. Danny was on top. Danny's 195, 200 pounds, soaking wet.
Yeah.
Right. Fights at 170.
Mm-hmm.
And Gabe could not get Danny off of him at all. And then Gabe's got his big ass on top of Danny.
And Danny was like, all right.
Then he was like, zoop. I was like,
yeah, bro. Like if being able to like hold your own in the street fight and get in the UFC ring, they are not the same shit, bro.
Not the same.
He is a professional fighter, like for real.
And he's got professional beatings for people, man. I'm so excited.
I'm undefeated, 9-0 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Real quick before we move on to that, he hadn't fought 8 UFC fights though, has he?
No, he's fought. I think he's fought 2 that is counted for his record. He's fought 3 in the UFC because he had to win. It's an exhibition fight on this Contender Series, which is actually going to be starting on Tuesday night this week. It's on ESPN Plus, but they bring in all these unsigned dudes and they fight. And Dana White, the president and CEO of the UFC, will give contracts to guys. Danny went and fought, beat up another Memphis guy.
Yeah, I know that.
Him out. Got his contract. Fought Josh Quinlan in UFC 298 in his first UFC fight. Broke his arm in the first round. Ended up knocking dude out in the 3rd round with the broke arm.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Healed up, came back. Fight. That was his first fight. So that he went to 8-0 during that time period.
So where did 8-0 come from then? If he's only had 3
fights? Fought professionally prior. So me and you have gone to Attitude MMA fights.
So them fights count?
Those are professional fights. They count record.
It's like boxing.
He gets paid for that shit. Yeah.
I didn't know they counted towards his UFC record.
Yeah. If you're a professional fighter, there's these regional fighting alliances that he fights for before you go to the UFC. So
when we see guys take a loss at like Attitude MMA, if they end up going to the UFC, they're gonna come in with them that record.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, Danny be on these folks' ass, and he ain't never lost to nobody.
9-0, like 6 first-round knockouts, 1 submission. I mean, the dude's a finisher. He's a beast, man. Like he's a beast. I'm
definitely pulling for him. He's definitely a guy that's could be a Memphis legend for sure.